Leandre Gotte Gius.
Good evening, Crimson Tide Nation, and welcome to the 40th edition of the Alabama Crimson Tide Live College Show from yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and my partner in crime, Jeffrey from Talk Sports, where we go over our takes on the Crimson Tide of Alabama with all of you while we take your calls every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Central Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Let me tell you something, folks, you're in for a wild ride. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Doing great, Jackson. I already see we got our first caller of the night in the waiting room, and he's giving us a roll Buckeyes roll. So I can't say I agree with that, Kane. That's a roll Tide roll, if you ask me. So definitely can't wait to talk about the Alabama Crimson Tide, and I'm sure a ton of other topics tonight. We always get to tons of stuff in around 2 hours. That's usually how long we go. We've gone longer, but try to keep the show and not to be 3 or 4 hours if we can help it. You know, we definitely enjoy chat with you guys, though. That's what the call.
We love chat with you guys, and you know, we love taking calls. That's what the college show's for. So we'll be doing 8 minutes for each caller, so that everybody can come on in. So we'll start off with Caden the Diesel Freak. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Wow, this is the first time you actually started without doing the whole, everybody, membership stuff. Wow, like this is the first actual show. You've never done that, Jackson. So what a shocking surprise.
Well, before we get to our next call, after we get done talking with you, we'll be telling everybody about the YouTube membership, so no worries.
Well, you could have started with the YouTube memberships as you do. I mean, come on, Jackson.
I honestly thought Jackson forgot. Honestly, I was like, wait a minute. Like, yeah, it's something different. Change of pace. Got to mix it up on show number 40.
Batte chocolate.
I didn't get a word of that, Jackson, and I did not understand that, but okay. Your vocabulary, okay?
Okay, it's all good. Oh, what's on your mind tonight, man?
Well, first of all, let me say this again. Roll, Buckeyes, roll. And that's a daggone fact here, folks, from me, Caden the Diesel Freak. And I mean, come on. As an Ohio State fan, as a fan of the 9-time defending national champions, who beat 4 teams for the national championship and had one heck of a season, I cannot complain. I mean, our off-season is looking pretty good. I wish that college football was a little bit more the way it was, like old school. Some of the meaner guys back on teams, but rules change. That they're just a bunch of cowards. But I wanted to talk about a comment that I was just talking about to somebody previously. And people were flooding my Twitter. If y'all don't know, I'm on Twitter at Hollywood Caden, the final boss. People have been flooding my Twitter, and I got flooded by OSU fans for making the comment of me saying that the Big 12 has a better chance of maybe having someone beat us in the playoffs. And I didn't stutter when I said that. And people and OSU fans were telling me, like, that's crazy to say. Oh my gosh, that's like saying, Cincinnati's going to beat us in the playoffs. I mean, there is the possibility. There's the possibility of WVU next year beating us in the playoffs. Truthfully honest.
So what I'm gathering from you, Caden, is that you're saying Ohio State is beatable.
On a certain level. Jeffrey, excuse me, on a certain level.
Yeah, I mean, every team is beatable, absolutely. I mean, Georgia, Ohio State, I mean, they win most of their games, but they could lose. I mean, it is possible. Georgia lost a couple times last year. Ohio State lost a couple times. But, at the end of the day, they're still great programs with great players. So, I mean, everybody can have a bad day. Sure.
But here's my issue, Jeffrey. It's the competition in Ohio State's schedule because our schedule this year, yeah, does not look good this year. I mean, pretty much most of our games are winnable, and well, majority of them are, and plus Texas. I wish they would stick somebody like Iowa State, BYU, somebody like that. Stick Georgia on our schedule if you have to, by God. We will go to Sanford Stadium and we will go in there and absolutely get into a dogfight with them guys. I swear to you.
Mm.
I mean, okay, we got Tuscaloosa in 2028. I'm already pumped for that one. That one's gonna be a bloodbath. Pardon me. Must have got soybean dust up my throat. But Jackson Jeffrey, your buddy Austin a few days ago had to make some comments regarding mine.
About what? What will he say exactly?
Here, say my name and provoke my name like a dozen times, saying I'm the one who's crazy.
Yeah,
Dude.
where is Austin? Like, Austin was supposed to debate you for a few minutes tonight. We saw our good buddy Alabama Richie just now. He's about to be coming on. I saw Austin. I was like, oh, is Austin coming on? Is he about to debate Caden? It's like, where's Austin? So we need. If
Unfortunately, unfortunately, there's a truth, Jeffrey. Austin does not have the balls to come on here when I'm talking. Unfortunately. And I know Alabama.
Sure he's probably doing something right now. So
you know what? You know what, Jeffrey? Honestly, that's a little BS coming from you. Honestly, that's a load of BS. And I know Alabama Richie don't got nothing to say either. I know he don't got nothing to say, especially the Godfather. Yes, Godfather, I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm talking to you, Godfather.
The Godfather's like, bring on Richie, please. Yeah, well, I mean, it would bring a sense of normalcy to the show. Absolutely.
Normalcy, Jeffrey.
He's one
normalcy. Normalcy, Jeffrey. You cannot be normal in this world, Jeffrey. I remind you.
The thing is, I don't like normalcy all the time. I do like the chaos. I'm just, it's part of the punchline. You know what I'm saying?
And you're calling me not normal? Well, thank you, Jeffrey. I appreciate that as a compliment.
Yeah, that's the way I said when you said I had like crap in my brain or whatever. I took it as a compliment, man. I mean, you take anything as a compliment.
Too hot. Godfather, let me just say this. Alabama is not safe from playing Ohio State or Georgia. I'm going to tell you that straight up honest. You want to talk about two defenses that like to, beat people to a bloody pulp? Yeah. That's two defenses I can recall within the last couple of years that's done that. And as they say, defense wins championships. Well, when you have a top-tier defense that knows how to open up a game early and end a game early, yeah. I think you already know where that's going down. I mean, what's this? What's the point of playing top-tier defense in the country and you beat somebody by 50 points and not even you beat them by 58? I mean, heck, we could go into Tuscaloosa and beat Bama by 58. And that's as far as Ohio State is concerned in 28. We could go and absolutely in there and absolutely wreck them. I mean, I know Jackson, he'd be on Twitter saying that was the biggest L delivered on Saban Field. Well, Jackson, you wouldn't be wrong about that. And even up in Columbus, it'd be the biggest loss on the road besides, what is it? Sanford Stadium, LSU Stadium, and the Iron Bowl, which, truthfully told, the Iron Bowl isn't really much any competition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
Well, I mean, the thing is that Indiana beat Nebraska by 49 this past season, and Nebraska almost beat Ohio State. So, I mean, the thing is, Ohio State was leagues better than Indiana last year still, despite Indiana's improvement. And yet you saw Indiana outbeat an opponent that Ohio State barely beat. So it shows that teams have off days. Nebraska had a horrible game against Indiana, and Ohio State had a horrible game against Nebraska. So, I mean, if Alabama lost by 58 to Ohio State, then it would be the worst performance in Alabama history. I mean, the odds of that are like 0 to none. But your point is still valid. You never know, right? Like anything's possible. You can have a terrible game. But, yeah, I wouldn't bet on Ohio State or Alabama losing by 58 to each other. The game's way too big. Both teams will show up. I do have to make a point, though, before we definitely move on to our next car, that I noticed you changed your profile picture to a different truck. So
I like the truck. It looks pretty cool.
I don't know if anybody's pointed that out, but I noticed that. So
That is a 1979 Chevy C70 with a 366 big block V8 with a 5-speed manual with a 2-speed override switch. Factory option from Chevrolet. Bought brand new by the farmer who I originally worked for. And I'm telling you what, the family sold it in 2021. I've tracked down the truck. It's close nearby me, so I pretty much see that truck sitting in a barn. But hopefully, the grandson of the farmer is going to get the truck back, or hopefully have one of the other kids that we know get it back up and running, and we're definitely using it again. And that truck's coming back home to the farmer, to the family that originally owned it. So hopefully we'll get that back, and we can get it. We can put some new life into it, and we can let it roll on the road again, like we say. But as far as it's concerned, Jeffrey, do me a favor, Jeffrey, find your buddy Austin and tell him to grow a set and to actually get his carcass on here, because unfortunately, we all know he does not have the gall or the balls to get on here when I'm on here, because he knows he isn't on my level and he is not on my status. Excuse me. Now, I'll leave that to you morons. But as I say, roll, Buckeyes, roll, and screw you, Alabama.
We'll be seeing you later, Caden.
thank you, Caden, for the colorful outro there. Appreciate that.
Oh, man. But before we get to our Nets callers, we've got the YouTube memberships of Alabama with Voice College Football. And we've got them in the chat all here for you. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member, where you'll have a loyalty badge next to your name in the comments and the live chat, custom emojis to use in the comments and the live chat, and member shout-outs, like our good buddy, the Godfather of the SEC, where he said, let me get my IB preference. Agreed.
Yeah, we got.
Oh, Jeffrey face froze. It's like, oh, man.
We're in and we're still dealing with it. We're only minutes in. So we got Caden through, and he, like I said, he gave us 10 minutes of colorful commentary on it. Actually, slight humility this time. I was a bit shocked. He actually was like, you know what? Ohio State can lose. So that, my friend, is what you call the development right there. That's progress.
Character development. We love
Character development.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, you can become a Saban disciple for $4.99 a month, where you can have priority replies to comments and access to a monthly hangout. From yours truly, Jackson Johnson, Jeffrey Only Talk Sports, Coach Johnny Burtz, Smoke Hines, and, of course, Manny Wilson from the Alabama Primetime Live Show. And for $9.99 a month, you can become a Bear Bryant legend by connecting on social media with each of us and give out content requests of any kind, and neither rain, nor sleet, nor snow, nor this miserable Alabama heat will push stop us from fulfilling your content request, all right here on Alabama with the Voice College Football. And that's all by becoming a YouTube member of Alabama with the Voice College Football. Tune in, you won't want to miss it. Well, we've got our Nets caller, and we want to bring on Alabama Richie. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing very well, you guys. I'm so happy to be back. It's been a couple weeks. I've been doing work with Wager Wires, so I'm back with you guys. But did that dude, Caden, call? Was he calling me out?
Oh, yeah.
He calls everybody out. I mean, he was calling out our good buddy Sports Talk with Austin.
Okay.
Definitely more so than you. He did mention you once, though. He was like, Alabama Richie. He's like, oh, he does that with everybody, so you're good. Like, it's hilarious.
I just want to say this: if you're listening to this, Caden, your legacy, forget a championship, is you can't beat Michigan. So I'm not trying to be ugly to say this, but if you're going to call anybody out, let's not forget that the Ohio State fans are not going to sit back. I mean, yeah, you won a national championship, and that's a great honor. You have the best receiver right now in Jeremiah Smith. You had the second best receiver get drafted in Emeka Egbuka. You had Mike Harrison that was drafted to the Cardinals, but your fans are going to blow a gasket if you can't beat Michigan this coming up season. So with that elite talent, especially with Sonny Styles on your defense, I really hope that you get the job done, because this was supposed to be a down Michigan team, and they still won. And I'm not one to be biased here, but Coach Saban's lost to Auburn, won the national championship, and the following season beat Auburn because he wasn't going to lose to Auburn 2 years in a row. So at least he had the audacity to beat Auburn, and at least Kalen DeBoer's beaten Auburn, his rival, his first season as a head coach. So we'll keep that in mind. But want to give a shout out to the Godfather. Hope you're doing well, brother, and thanks for the shout out. It means a lot. But I was just gonna say, I'm looking forward to the season. I'm looking forward to Tim Keenan a lot. I know I haven't mentioned it yet, but Tim Keenan, man, I was just the knee injury. I know y'all remember his knee injury. What was it? High school. He had the ACL and he came back. I mean, this kid right there. And I'm gonna say this too. The SEC has produced a lot of first round talent because that's just what the SEC does. And I'm going to say this next crew coming from Bama could be some top tier first round production in terms of Keenan, Deontay Lawson. Um, if Isaiah Horton has a good season, he was decent at Miami. I mean, we're loaded this year. I think us and DeBoer and Grubb are going to cook up something. And the preseason polls, if you guys know who Crunch Time Sports Advantage is, follow him. His preseason for us was number 4. I kind of like that because it gives us a chance to work our way up and prove everybody that last year was last year, 9-3. This year we're a different breed. But I really think that we're in for a better season than 9-3 last year. I think we'll make the playoffs this year. If for some reason we don't, it's going to be because we slipped up a couple ones we shouldn't have lost to. But I'm also just going to say this. I can't wait for the Georgia game. And I say that because now we have a chance to really prove, is Ty Simpson our answer? Because that's going to solidify something. And AJ McCarron alluded to it on the Dynasty podcast. He said, you're really going to want to see if we're the team come Georgia. You go up to Athens, you take care of business against Georgia, and then you go back home. And I think one of the games, we're going to have to go to Columbus and play them. I was going to say the next game I'm looking forward to is South Carolina, because Lenora Sellers has a chance to make a statement this year. And I'm really, really for our SEC show. We've been breaking down these couple guys, and he's one that I'm really high on besides DJ Lagway. Now, Lagway's going to clean up some of the turnovers, but that's another team in South Carolina I'm really nervous to face. And so, yeah, I'd be willing to talk to Caden any day and just let him know that, hey, you're not going to – you won the championship, but you're not going to even sniff happy fans if you don't beat Michigan. It's just not going to happen, brother. Like, you guys got a very talented team in Columbus, and you guys have a well-head coach in Ryan Day, but keep it real. There's no screw anything. You look at the championships, brother, and just prove it. I will say this, your guy that works alongside you all, Garrison, that covers Ohio State, that dude knows what he's talking about when he covers Ohio State. So anybody that wants to give realistic Ohio State news and listen to that, check into Garrison. He does amazing work. I don't really appreciate people saying screw Alabama. I can say a lot worse, but I don't like to put people in that predicament. I'll vouch for any school. You're talented. You bring in the recruits. You produce. But it's just I get it. You're chirping. You're just having fun. But screw. You really don't want me to go there. Just keep in mind, folks, and I said it here first. If you guys don't beat Michigan this year, it's not going to mean that championship's going to be a thing of the past. You got to beat Michigan. Come on. If you think you have the answer this year, you got Julian saying our ex quarterback to commit to us. You're supposed to have the team this year. Now I will say this: Matt Patricia and Brian Hartline aren't really necessarily quote unquote to me your top tier picks, because if you want to keep it real, there's a reason why Belichick didn't carry Patricia with him. I mean, but again, I think he'll do good because he's got the talent. I've never seen Patricia in college, but that guy and Kane Womack for us can coach a darn defense. I mean, I really, really believe in it. He was very good at South Alabama, and now he comes in to carry over a defense. To me, he's top in the nation. I've said that multiple times. Kane Womack is a top tier defensive coach. So had to get that little rant out of the way. But great to see you guys for sure.
Oh, it's always great seeing
Absolutely.
you, Richie, man. It's been a long
Absolutely.
time no see. We're glad to see you. But apparently, Caden the Diesel Free, he put out a $5 super chat. We appreciate the contribution. But apparently, he's calling you out, Richie, and he says, "I'm just reading the message, so don't
They're
go
going to suffer.
don't off the messenger, so to speak." So this is a quote. Austin Hollis, you're not impressive. And as far as Michigan is concerned, they're going to suffer.
Like I said, Austin, this is what Caden does. Like, this is what he does. You're good. It's not nobody is exempt. Nobody.
Nope.
I mean, literally, probably the president of the United States, like, it don't like the president of any country, the media, like whatever. Caden will call him out. Like, that's just what he does. Like, he don't care. You're good. Like, it's just
fine.
What
Because see, I'll just go back to this to allude to what he said. Nothing bothers me anymore. I've heard worse than that. But I mean, keeping it real, I'll just comment back to that and say you guys said the same thing about Michigan this year with a down team. Now you didn't straight on come out and say they're going to suffer, but you said you had a chance to beat him. And here's a clue. Urban Meyer could beat Michigan, but Ryan Day. Am I wrong on that? Has his whole tenure at Ohio State he's lost to Michigan, or has he snuck out at least one?
He won the first year, right, Jackson?
Okay.
Yeah, he won all of them.
All of them. So yeah, Ryan Day's beaten Michigan since he's been there, or he has not? I don't remember it.
First year, 2019.
Yeah. Okay, the first year he was the head coach. Okay,
he's got to lose.
At least he has one. But I mean, your last 4 seasons that he's been the head coach have been an L to Michigan. I mean, it's sad. I mean, it's not that I'm saying that he can't get it done because he's got the elite talent, but I was rooting for Ohio State this past year because I said, hey, split the series. Split the series. But then I'm at the gym and they're playing, I can't remember his last name, but Davis, what was his name? Davis Warren. And he's the quarterback for Michigan. He had that story. And next thing you know, he comes out and so this guy says, enlightened Austin, that cheaters own Alabama as well. Cheaters? I don't know what cheaters are supposed to mean.
But he's talking about Michigan, but I'm just like, keep me out of that whole Michigan, Ohio State.
Not Michigan.
I mean,
he's calling Michigan cheaters.
Okay, the game. Okay, so Steve makes a point. I mean, the game against Michigan, the year Saban retired, makes sense.
Milroe fumbled.
Pardon?
Milroe fumbled. I mean, that's all. Yeah, that's what happened.
We shot our own self in the foot, so I give that. But the bowl game to me doesn't. We didn't even try. Pardon?
We didn't even try.
Yeah, we didn't try. It was in the rain. Milroe threw 2 interceptions. Everybody was calling for Milroe. I've said it multiple times. He's never been the worst quarterback we've ever had. Milroe, to me, people need to get through their head that Milroe, there's other quarterbacks that have struggled worse than Milroe and had to show themselves the door. If you have to show your own self the door at Alabama, there's a problem in you. Because 2 of those quarterbacks were coached under Saban, Blake Barnett and Cooper Bateman, and both of them came in. Now, Paul Tyson was another guy, Bear Bryant's great grandson. People thought was the next coming, and I told everybody before he even stepped on the field, don't get your hopes up that Tyson does anything because that system, the way he plays, doesn't tailor to the system. And what do you know? Guess where he is? Not on the, never played for the Crimson Tide. Never, maybe as an emergency quarterback or something. But what do you get? Nothing, nothing at all. Because that's the year they started a couple seasons. They started realizing you have Jacob Coker, the FSU transfer in, and you have Blake Sims. So I mean, I get it. I mean, I'm not upset with Steve's comment. The Caden one's a little bit more out there, but Steve, I get it. I mean, we lost twice to them. The bowl game doesn't really bother me. We didn't try, like Jackson said. I mean, yeah, what you guys said, but I mean, hey, the first year hurt because that was a real taste of what you're going to get from players nowadays. You know, I got a question for both of you guys. Texas Tech just got a 5-star recruit to go over there. And question for you all is, are you starting to see that more because it's starting to get to where kids want to play where it's feasible for the family to come? Or do you think it's the money, or what do you guys think it comes down to? Because we got five stars to come to us. One of them's Xavier Crowell. The other one is the Edwards on the defense. But it makes me wonder: are these kids going other places because it's better for them? You know, because I mean, Texas Tech's a very good school. They had that very good Final Four run or Elite Eight run and got beat by Florida. But I just wanted to see how you guys assess it.
Honestly, I think it depends on the player, but like Texas Tech football, I mean, they're winning on the recruiting trail, but let's not count the chickens before they're hatched just yet.
I
Let's
think
see what they
that
can do in college
NIL
football.
is helping Tech because I mean all those schools are doing great in recruiting. I mean, obviously Texas A&M, they're in the SEC, they're massive schools, tons of NIL. But then you also look at like SMU. SMU's recruiting very well. Again, because they're in Texas, you've got Texas Tech doing very well. I don't know. I think it's a bit of both. Like to Jackson's point, I do think sometimes it is like for a recruit maybe for family and all that. But I mean, we saw that Malik Ali player go from Hawaii to Michigan. I mean, used to Hawaii players went to USC if they left the island. So it's just I don't know. Texas Tech doesn't normally land 5 stars, and now they are. I kind of think it's one guy, but they are as a whole. Their recruiting class is pretty good. It's not like they've been good recently. Like the last since basically Mike Leach, like they've been very mid for the entirety of the time since Mike Leach. So yeah, I don't know. I think NIL is definitely playing a role. I just don't know all of the what's the word, like the limits and the extremes of NIL, because you've seen some people posting that like Bryce Underwood was making $10 million a year, and then now you got them trying to do the cap. So and that there's still extra donors and stuff. I don't know, but I do think when you're seeing schools that didn't normally recruit well, like Texas Tech, I think.
Jeffrey face
definitely has
froze
something
again.
to do with it.
I'll say this: I don't buy that Bryce Underwood's making 10 a year, a million. I mean, if I said this, I had someone explain the contract to me last night, and he said this to me. He said, you look at it, if he was really making 10 million a year, where's the contract? They won't produce it. I mean, I know I got a story for you guys and anyone else here that is a Tide faithful like we are. The guy that took me to my first Alabama game, and I shouldn't even share this, but I love you boys to death. So this guy said to me, he goes, I was in the meeting when we were getting ready to hire Saban, and he was part of the team that put the money up to show Shula the door. Now it wasn't like Shula, nobody wanted Shula gone. But it's a matter of if you're going to get Nick Saban as your head coach, I mean, that's another story. And the only other thing that gave people cold feet about Saban at first was the way he treated the Dolphins, because I don't know if you guys remember, and I don't buy it. I think that Saban just had to realize there was a better, and his wife, Miss Terry, even said it in a documentary she was on. She said that, the offer came and it looked like a better situation for the family, so they did what they thought was best. So I like how the way she played it out, but I know everybody, you said a couple shows ago, what if Rich Rod would have been hired? And what if that would have been the trajectory we went? Would we have won the championships or had the same thing? I don't know. Because then people say to me, well, Shula was high on Tebow. Would we have gotten Tebow? Could we have gotten Jameis Winston? I was like, absolutely not, because Jameis Winston at Alabama, you don't get to play multiple sports. If you're playing football, you're either going to play football or you're not. And that's the thing that A.J. McCarron learned the hard way when he stepped in and said, hey, I got a baseball game to play for. He said, you quit today. You want to be my starting quarterback, you quit today. So I get it. I mean, I just, it just, we can. I lost my train of thought. I forgot what did I ask you guys again?
Oh man, my brain's got caught in fried.
Yeah, if Jackson don't remember, what you asked about Texas Tech with recruiting and stuff like that. Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean, we're still going to be able to get the talent. It's a matter of Saban's. I was going to say Saban's last season. Oh, I know what it was. The guy that was in the same room. So yeah, he's in the same room. So the point I'm making is, he said to me a few weeks ago. He said, so you guys remember Ryan Williams, right? When he was offered that money for Ole Miss, and they put up the money to save him at Bama quick, and he basically said that Mbakwe's a package deal. So if he's gone, I'm gone. And I don't know whether that was him really saying that. I haven't seen it to where he really said that, but a lot of people say it's true. You're never going to see the true contracts that they say these kids get, because they hide that for a reason. And then another take too is this. I asked Ryan Williams during the Arkansas game where we came back from behind at Coleman Coliseum basketball. He was there signing autographs before he was playing for us. And I asked him, I said, do you think you would stay at Bama your whole 4 years? He says, he goes, depends on what my trajectory looks like. If I look like I'm good enough to go to the NFL, I'm going to leave and go to the pros. And I said, makes a lot of sense. I said, I stand on it. There's a shop called Gold. It's called the Gold Shop, and they have like Script A chains and different things like that. It's before the big time, and they do deals with some schools. They do them for almost every big school you can think of. So if you stay all 4 years, I'm going to message you, and I'm going to give you a little Script A chain for staying all 4 years. And he said, well, say less or whatever. And then I remember someone asked him, do you think you'll stay again? And he goes, depends on, and it makes a lot of sense. So, I mean, these kids are going the best, I think, too, the best where they feel like they're fit, where their talent fits the coaching staff and how they're going to be utilized. And I think if these kids think another school, because someone said, too, they're like the Georgias, the Alabamas, they're not going to get the elite talent anymore. It's like, I tell you what, as long as Kirby Smart's still in Georgia, and still as long as we have Kalen DeBoer, we'll be okay. We'll be completely fine. I think we're going to have a very good season this year compared to what you saw in the past. So,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're still recruiting at a high level. I mean, I was a little nervous.
Back in the top 5.
I was a little nervous at first in this recruiting cycle. Like, hey, we were kind of not really landing anybody, and then we just had this massive flurry. I mean, we went on such.
Jeffrey face froze again.
He'll be back in a second.
It's about development, and it's also about, keeping guys. Like, you can have a great class, but if they all leave or they don't develop, then it doesn't matter, aka Texas A&M. But the thing is that I feel like DeVore is going to be able to keep most of the players. I don't foresee it being a mass exodus ever. Every school is going to lose a few players, though. That's just the way it is now. You can't keep everybody. It's not feasible, but if DeBoer can keep like 75% of every recruiting class and develop over half those star players, then you're fine. Every year you're going to be good. Yeah. And you just plug a couple holes in the portal, you'll be fine.
Well, and I know a lot of people were panicked and worrying months ago, but I told everybody, like, look, we're going back to the top 5 for this recruiting class. Promise you this, we're back in it. I mean, summer has started right now in Tuscaloosa. Summer is here.
Well,
So,
I also think too, to allude to that, is I think some of these kids start looking at who's played in the Tide jersey before, and I think they know what is capable of produce what we produce at Alabama as well. I mean, look at all the really like Ryan Williams has the chance to be one of the best receivers we've ever had play in a Tide jersey, no question. But Devontae Smith, and I said this multiple times. I mean, it's almost going to pain me to say this. Devontae Smith hosted the Heisman Trophy up, right? But two of the best receivers to come out of the SEC to me are Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. I mean, it's just how it played out. And I mean, we had our slew of great receivers. We produced Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle, Jamison Williams. We produced Devontae Smith. But
Calvin Ridley.
yeah, Calvin Ridley's another one with the Falcons. And there's obviously Marcus Mays had chances in the NFL. Trying to think of who else we've had. Guy before, even after him. I just watched his highlights. He was a very good. He just was a little tad bit slow for the pros, but he was one of the best targets McCarron ever had. And Amari Niblack, even though he transferred, so I mean, but I mean, he suited up in a Tide jersey, even though he didn't stay. I mean, we didn't produce him per se, but I mean, those guys, Henry Ruggs, even though we know the storyline that happened with Ruggs, I mean, I thought he was one of the better receivers out of those trio of receivers, but it's unfortunate. So, I mean, it's not to say that we can't, but I think they look at Julio Jones as another example of guys that have made careers in the pros because they wore the script A and they were, I don't want to say under the best, but I mean, DeBoer can be the best and one of the best in college if he gets these guys to buy into the program because, if I've said this too, I don't know how you feel about it last take before I have to jump, but if you.
uh-oh. Bama.
Oh, I'm back. Was going to say if you have to show yourself the door at Alabama, or if they show you the door, there's a problem. And I think these kids coming in, the 5-star recruits, the one guy Edwards is a 4-star if I'm not mistaken. But even still, you're getting 4 and 5-star guys to come over to Tuscaloosa because they know what's been there in the past. So I think that it's only up from here with this recruiting class and the names and this. I do have one last question. Do you think the last comments, because AJ McCarron had alluded to this on the Dynasty, I don't want to say it on here, but he said that Hugh Freeze is full of S because he's now trying to find anything he can to save himself because everybody knows if he has a bad season, they'll put up his buyout money like that. That's just how it is. What do you guys feel about those comments?
Well, I'm sure all Hugh Freeze has to do is buy a hooker for his boss and just kind of blackmail him with that info, and he's good to go.
My thing about Hugh Freeze is that like the fact he's still known for that, it was like a decade ago, and he's still known for that, and then the Liberty stint where he was in the bed, and it's like you just can't take him seriously. I mean, I don't know, like the thing is Auburn is in such a rut because after Malzahn, every coach they've had has been just not good. And I think Hugh Freeze can recruit. I think Hugh Freeze can win. But I think Auburn, the job at Auburn is very tough right now. It's very tough. And I don't think Hugh Freeze is up for it. I don't, but we'll see.
For sure. But maybe he could pull like a little Bruce Pearl. I don't know. But
we got a question from Steve. Who would you rather have, DeBoer or Signetti?
DeBoer.
Yeah, I'd have DeBoer in a heartbeat. And that's a great question, Steve. And I'll explain this real quick. DeBoer has been a winner everywhere he's been. Signetti was under Saban, and he's at Indiana. So he had a good season with, what was the guy's name? Rourke at quarterback?
Rourke, yeah.
Yeah, so the guy, it's some coaches, and I've said this too, some coaches get lucky with a team. Like, that Gus Malzahn team, was he the head coach with Cam Newton?
No, offensive coordinator.
Okay. So, but even still, he was on that coaching staff that won the championship with Cam Newton, and he got lucky. He did take them to a national championship, but you weren't going to beat that FSU talented team. I think DeBoer brings a lot of camaraderie to Tuscaloosa, knowing that he's been a winner everywhere he's gone. So I mean, Signetti to me, I just don't know. After the season he had in Bloomington, would they want him gone? Because I still think he's got potential in Bloomington. But what do I know? I mean, I just really look at the Tide and say, they Saban told, even had rumored that, and there's a rumor that this guy had shared to me as well, that Saban wasn't part of the reason they hired DeBoer, but he definitely was someone he was vouching for when Greg Byrne was looking for him as the next head coach. It was between him and Mike Norvell, and Mike Norvell knew his fate as soon as DeBoer agreed to take the job. So, I mean, great question. I mean, Signetti to me isn't terrible. He's a very good coach. But does he get Indiana to the promised land? And to Indiana fans that may listen back to this, you don't know. We'll never know. But he did have a very good season, because we know Indiana's past track record. They have been, up down there with Purdue. You're just okay, and you're trying to figure it out. And to Indiana fans, I'm happy that you guys had the season you had. And people don't like that I give Indiana lots of credit, but it was just nice to see that they weren't bottom of the pack anymore. So we'll see.
Well,
So
Richie, we will definitely see you later. We'll see you next week for sure, man.
absolutely, catch you guys later, and I'll be back.
There we go. We'll
See you
see you
guys.
soon.
Have a
Goodbye.
great night, Richie. Appreciate it.
And before we get to our next callers, one more day of Amazon Prime. What am I getting? I don't know what I'm getting. Do you know what you're getting, Jeffrey?
We'll figure something out on Amazon. They got a plethora of options.
Well, I think this I think this doppelganger of Mark Rogers can tell us what to do.
You can make a difference here at the Voice of College Football. Use the Amazon link. Financially contribute to the Voice of College Football without spending a penny. Same shopping experience. It's easy. Go to any video on any channel. Go to the description section and grab the link right next to the capital letters that say Amazon. Use that link, and Amazon will instantaneously convert to your account, settings, history, everything intact, just like whatever link you use right now. No difference. Pay no attention to the product that you see right there. Just go search what you want. Don't forget the Amazon link. Thank you for your support. Sincerely, the Voice of College Football.
There you go. Shop on Amazon using the link to support the Voice of College Football. You don't need to buy the product displayed. It doesn't cost you a penny. You get the same shopping experience with the link next to it. And of course, we've got our next two callers, and we're going by 8 minutes each call. We've got Timothy Redmond to start things off. How you doing tonight, man?
Good.
What's on your mind tonight, man?
I got some big news.
Ooh, some
On
big news.
July the 21st, me, Mac, and Cliff, we doing a show together on my channel on July the 21st at 8 o'clock. So Cliff and Mac, they got a YouTube show. It's called the Big Ten Rivalry Show with Clifford and Mac. Y'all probably had seen the show before, but they're gonna be on my show on January. I meant to say July the 21st at 8 o'clock, and that's on a Monday.
Ooh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I've been on with Cliff and Matt before a couple times. They're pretty cool to hang out with.
And then we might be doing a breakdown of Michigan. We might be doing a breakdown of Michigan schedule, but we'll be doing a breakdown of Ohio State schedule, and it might be exposing the truth because I think that their schedule is going to turn out the same way it did in 20 and in 23 where there's some teams that supposed to have a couple, because there was some teams like Maryland, but they was supposed to have, but they wasn't they wasn't supposed to be, they wasn't favored to be undefeated when they play Ohio State in 23. Ohio State, but they were currently 5-0. In Maryland, they were 5-0. So I feel like their schedule is similar to that year. It was like, but they got some teams where they might be undefeated or or just have the one loss before Ohio State playing them. Another thing that Ryan Day, he came out and said that he don't know who's going to start against Texas as far as the quarterback, because he came out and said during the recent his recent time at the podium that he thought that the other quarterback, that he thought that he was good enough to start over Julian Sain, but after the spring game, he thought that the Julian Sain that he might start, but now since some of the practices, it's over. It's over with. They're not meeting the expectations.
Here we
And
go.
we all know that the freshman quarterback, they going to redshirt him no matter what happens to the two quarterbacks in front of him. But
Yeah. Well, and we forgot to point out the 2 super chats that Caden put out a little while ago. Sorry about that. And Caden put out a $2 super chat, and he says Ohio State's defense hurts teams. And he put out another $5 super chat where he told Austin, that was Alabama Richie, where he said, Austin, I'll tell you, Alabama's not safe from Georgia's defense because they'll beat Alabama to a bloody pulp. I don't agree with that.
Could be the other way around. Could be the other way around.
Oh, yeah. But we appreciate the $5 super chat contribution and the $2 super chat contribution, Caden. Sorry that we forgot about that for a little bit. We got so focused in the conversation for a little bit, but
some people thought, but once Kirby had beat the Alabama in the national title, the rematch, they all thought that his days of losing to Bama or whoever the head coach is over with. But it seems like that win was just a fluke. Because the last two the matches has shown that their national title loss for Alabama, that might have been a fluke slash J-Mo getting injured.
Before
Jameson Williams had got injured, Kirby Smart was struggling to beat Nick Saban in the a playoff the rematch. Then after that, the injury got lost. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that happens. I mean, it can happen to any team. I mean, we probably would have had a better shot to win if he had stayed healthy, but we'll never know. You know, it definitely helped out Kirby in the end.
He playing for my team though, so.
What are you looking forward to from the Big Ten Media Days, Timothy?
I I okay. I heard that it's going to be in Las Vegas this year, so that's different.
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of
It's
interesting that we're going to be seeing that.
it's not in Indy. They must didn't they must didn't pay their rent.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, going in Vegas, I mean that'll be a good way to pay your rent, especially having the media days over in Vegas. And I know NetSuite will be the SEC media days. Crimson Tide's
The,
up on Wednesday, so that's gonna be fun.
but does that mean that they're not going to be using the Indianapolis Colts Stadium this year?
Nah, nah. Big Ten tile is gonna be fine.
Oh,
It's gonna, yeah, we're gonna see it on Fox again this year, but then we're gonna see it on NBC in 2026. I mean that's all I know. That's
Yeah,
gonna be
it's on a
confirmed.
rotating thing where like every year it's on the championships on a different network.
why it's not on Fox every year no more? But like, because so they sign a new contracts.
Yeah, it was back
Mhm.
in like 2022 they signed the new contract with Fox, CBS, and NBC. It was actually, if Jackson remembers, the first video I ever talked about on my YouTube channel. That
Yeah,
exact topic I
Cause CBS they
discussed
used to
and
host.
doing all three networks.
Cause
yeah,
CBS they used to host the SEC every year. So
yep. Oh, there we go. We're getting close to your 3-year anniversary on YouTube, Jeffrey.
Oh,
Nice.
thanks, man. I mean,
There
it's
we go.
crazy to talk about that with the Big Ten signing that contract. That was the first video I ever made. I mean, honestly, I think it's crazy.
you know
There
what?
we,
But since they doing it in Las Vegas, the Michigan people, they probably gonna be like, oh, new smell, fresh air, new type of air to smell. And they probably will help their there might be it might give them some recruiting benefits. Players out there, they see they see a team where they wear yellow wings on their helmet, but every Saturday, they all the Southern, they having they big summer meetings in Las Vegas. It probably would tell them that, oh, we should play for that school.
there we go. I mean, it's
But but why the change? Nobody they we all found out that they doing it in law the Vegas, but why they want to have it in Las Vegas?
I think honestly they kind of want to, spread it around a little
It's
bit,
because they now have USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington in the Big Ten, and they want to spread it around, like Jackson said, and because
But
that
last
Vegas is such
year
a
they
hot spot
traveled
for sports now.
To to, to Indy. They ain't had no problems.
Like Jackson said, they're just moving it around, spreading it around. And Vegas is such a hot spot for sports now. They're really hyping up that city. That's why everybody's saying, that they need to get an NBA team. The A's are moving there possibly, or like already a done deal, whatever. You have the Raiders there now. The Vegas is just booming for sports. That's why they're doing it. If USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington had joined the Big Ten, they would have never done it in Vegas, though. I mean, I agree they traveled to Indy, but they just decided to do it in Vegas this year to switch it up, since now the Big Ten
They
is a
did have,
conference
but
all across the
at
country.
one point a time they did have a basketball team there, but they didn't stay.
yeah.
Just like in Washington, they got a football team, but they don't got a basketball team. Seattle,
Yeah.
they did have one, but not no more.
Well, maybe we'll see the NBA go back to having the Seattle Supersonics, but this time, let just kind of talk things over with Oklahoma City. Be like, hey, let's have our Seattle Supersonics team history back in our city.
Yeah, they should have never lost their NBA team, Seattle, but they did. I think I remember that their stadium was like under support. It was kind of old or something like that. They weren't supporting it or like updating it and all that. So they that's why they moved. But yeah, I mean Seattle, like it's one of the bigger cities in the country, and they just don't have an NBA team. It makes no sense.
It's
You've got
not.
baseball, you've got hockey, you've got football. It's like you have basketball, but then they went to the Thunder. It's like it's cool that Oklahoma City's got a team, but it makes more sense that Seattle would have one. But
Oh yeah.
they lost.
But did you hear some recent news about Donovan McConley? They talking about that he might be the next Nico Collins that used to play for Michigan and graduated
Ooh,
from there. But yeah, Donovan
that,
McCarley. He
that's
transferred
huge.
out of Indiana to go play for Ron Bellamy, and they always they saying that he could be their next Nico Collin for 1 year.
Well, we'll definitely wait and see what happens. But
Donovan McCulley had his moments in Indiana. I mean, he had even like a Sports Center top 10 catch against Illinois, like a one-handed touchdown catch. He's got all the potential in the world, but he was not consistent. I definitely think with better players around him in Michigan, he might have a really great year, but definitely, like Jackson says,
A
kind of a
better
wait and see.
quarterback.
I
yeah,
wouldn't even say like better quarterback, just like the team, like a better team all around.
there we go. Well, Timothy, we're gonna get to our next caller. Thank you for calling
Okay,
in.
before I leave, I would like to, to say that if y'all just like watching the football channels and you really don't care about the team or logo, I highly recommend that you subscribe to the Thunder Redman football show.
There it is, folks. Tune into the Thunder Redmond Michigan football show. Tune in for more.
And 17 more subscribers, I will be in the 200s.
There we go.
That's awesome.
Well, Timothy, we will definitely see you soon. We'll see you next week, and you have a great Thursday night, man.
And what's up with Birch? With Birch, he was on the Michigan Carlin show, and he was scared to talk. They brought him on, and he was scared to talk. He kept quiet. He was scared to talk.
Oh no.
Something bad happened to him with a Buckeye, and he afraid to speak about it, and they wanted to help him out.
I don't know, man, but I'll definitely have to check it out for sure. But we'll definitely see. We will see you next Thursday, man, and stay safe.
Before I go, but earlier you said that Dan he finally announcing that his teammate lose. His teammate lose. His teammate his team might lose.
Mm.
His team his team might lose games that they normally don't lose. But do you think that somebody off camera or somebody that he knows that we don't know had told him the truth and not and 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 now that truth conversation is stuck in his mind and brain like but even though he wants to, to go back to the fancy land he can't because somebody had planted the truth
Ooh.
into his brain where now he have to just accept it.
I think it's something like that. I'm sure, but there'll definitely be another Scooby mystery that we solve
That
sometime
because I
next.
don't know no buck no I don't know no Buckeye. 1 minute they talk about we going under the defeated and we're stuck in fantasy land, and one then a few days later they talk about that person is right. We, we're gonna lose the teams that we're gonna lose the teams that we can't even say if we do lose we want a rematch because we can't.
Well, we'll definitely wait and see what happens going in 2025. I'm excited thinking about it, but yeah, but we'll see you next Thursday, and stay safe and stay
Oh
away from that
yeah, they
heat.
just announced that JJ Smith he will be at the Big Team Media Day speaking.
Yep.
So
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun watching the media days, and I'll be looking forward to seeing Smith on there.
there might be some famous actors out there speaking.
There always is, but we'll definitely be seeing you soon, and you have a good Thursday night.
Yeah.
And we've got our Nets caller. We've got Darrell MVP in the house. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. How about you, Jackson and Jeffrey?
We're doing all right.
That's good to hear. So I just wanted to ask because the season's coming up right around the corner. Big 12 just had their media day. SEC about to have their media days here next week. Um, what are you looking forward to as expectations for Alabama this season? With the roster being finalized, with the spring game over with, now it's getting part to that season where you start to take a peek in that schedule and seriously look and comb it down and be like, this is what we need to do. This is what I'm expecting them to do. So, what are some early expectations?
Well, I expect we can have like a 10-2 season, 11-1 season with what our receiving core looks like.
10-2 is my exact prediction.
Yeah.
So, if you all do go 10-2, you're basically saying you all are making the playoffs this year.
I
Yep.
think so. I mean, I know there's a shot we don't. Obviously, like last year, we were right there, but we blew 2 games to bad teams in Vanderbilt and Oklahoma, and that's what we can't have this year. We got to be more consistent. That's what I want to see more than anything else this season for Alabama is can DeBoer get the team to at least like give a B effort or better every game. Just be consistent enough. Unlike last year, we were all over the place. We played well at times, played awful at times. As long as we play consistently solid football, I think we should go 10-2 based off our talent. And the schedule's not that bad. It's not easy, but it's not that bad.
Yeah, I mean, you do have some tough games in there. I mean, Georgia, obviously, is going to be one of, if not the toughest game for anybody throughout the entire season, excluding the Texas at Ohio State game. You play Tennessee, LSU, Missouri. You got some pretty quality teams you all got to face this year. And you all play 2 non-conference E4 opponents. So with that being said, do you think if Alabama did happen to go 9-3, do you think their chances of making the playoff this year increased from last year because of their more difficult schedule?
No, if we're 9-3, we're out.
You think? I'm not sure. I'm looking at that schedule and I'm thinking, man, 9-3, 2 power conference change. And I'll be honest, I think the committee is going to more focus on strength of schedule. And I think, how I think a lot is there is some politics within the committee. Obviously, I don't believe as much as most people, especially the Big 12 fans, but I think they'll find a way. And that's just my opinion.
Well, so we got Florida State, Wisconsin, obviously, and we got Georgia on week 5. Our revenge game against Vandy.
Oh, that's sad to say, Jackson.
I know, right? Tennessee on the 3rd Saturday in October. I'm glad that schedule makers finally got something right by making sure that Alabama, Tennessee is on the actual 3rd Saturday of October for about the last decade or so.
They've gotten a lot else wrong, but at least they're still doing that.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, good grief. Like, don't be putting down fourth Saturday in October anymore. But speaking of which, we gotta go South Carolina, which looks like a trap game for us after we play Tennessee and before we play LSU.
I just like the fact most of our games against, potentially tough.
I think is in
are two potentially like the toughest opponents. At Missouri, at Auburn aren't easy, but they're not insanely difficult. If you can win those, at worst, if you lose to Georgia, South Carolina, it's 10-2. Because I mean, LSU, Oklahoma, Tennessee, they're all coming to Bryant-Denny.
Right. I'm still not a believer in the Oklahoma hype. I know they've had everyone and someone else was also injured. I'm just not still a believer. Their quarterback is horrendous, based on what I remember. So I just don't. I'm not a believer in them. LSU's always that team in the SEC that feels like a dark horse that can win the SEC but never quite does it. And to me, South Carolina is that team that it wouldn't shock me if they go 10-2, make the playoffs, or go 6-6.
Yeah.
Especially with how difficult their schedule is, like none of those things would shock me. So this could be a really difficult schedule in the back half, especially South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois, just a bye game, and then Auburn. That could be really tough, or it could be easier than it looks on the surface.
Oh,
absolutely, because I mean, Auburn's going to show up because it's Auburn. Like, no matter what, how bad Auburn is, they're going to show up. But I mean, LSU or Oklahoma, both those teams could just be bad. Like completely falling apart at that time of the season, or they could both be good. But the thing is, you saw last year though that at home we were great. The only game on the road that we did good against was LSU, because LSU couldn't stop QB run, and we just did like you would do in NCAA college football, and you just spam the same play over and over again. Milroe would just keep it on the option and ran all over because they wouldn't stop it. But other than that, LSU, like, we had our best performances at home. We lost all the games on the road. And it's like this year, again, you've got 4 road games, not counting Florida State, but 4 road games in the SEC. At Auburn, at Missouri, like I said, are definitely winnable games. We found a way to win in Jordan-Hare the last 2 times, escaping. Missouri, I don't know how good they're going to be. South Carolina, Georgia are really, really tough, but we've had Georgia's number for a long time. I know we're not as good, but neither are they. They got question marks. And then the other games that are tough are at home. LSU, Tennessee, Oklahoma, they're all at home. That is fantastic. And at home, I'm not saying we're unbeatable, but we're very, very tough to beat at home. I'm more worried about the road games just based off last year, and I don't think our road games are all that bad outside of Georgia, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Right. I was just thought of this as well. What are the chances between LSU and Oklahoma? One of their coaches is gone at that point in the season. Because
there's a chance.
Yeah, I think for Oklahoma it's more likely than LSU, obviously. But even Auburn, I can see them canning their coach if they go sideways. So
I think Hugh Freeze and Mark Stoops and Venables are definitely and Pittman are the hottest ones.
Yeah.
Venables is hot, but his buyout's high. Brian Kelly's hot, but his buyout's high. The other ones, I mean, like Stoops has a high buyout, but man, Kentucky's just like really, really bad.
Yeah, I talked with Ty Hudson from Tuss Talk with Ty on this week's edition of the Jacksonian, where we talked a little bit about Sam Pittman's seat. Is he gonna be fired? Is he gonna retire? Is he gonna be thrown out or be, forced to resign? Is he gonna, stay on? Is he gonna have a lobbying session? I mean, honestly, if Arkansas is having a really good year, he'll be okay. But I can't help but feel like Bobby Petrino's kind of being nice to him to his face, but then behind his back, trying to sabotage him so he can finish what he started in Fayetteville. I don't know why, but maybe I'm wrong, but something like that's just kind of nagging at my head.
Yeah, and also, what does really good look like for Arkansas? I mean, But let's be honest here. We're talking about Arkansas. Yeah, I mean, have you seen their schedule?
Oh, it's scary.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. I'd be shocked if they went 8-4. Like they're gonna.
Arkansas, their schedule looks like what Florida's looked like last year before Florida's schedule kind of fell apart.
Right. And even then, Florida scheduled at the ending stretch outside of the FSU game. It wasn't too bad. Ole Miss was decent. LSU was decent. You know, they didn't roll over and die. But Arkansas is a much worse team than Florida is. They're just not nearly as talented or good across the board. Something else I was going to ask you about, a nice way to plug your show in, Jackson, there, as you always do, is what are you looking forward to at SEC Media Days hearing the most from Alabama specifically and the wider SEC in general?
Well, I'm looking to see how Kalen DeBoer can handle the SEC Media Days for 2025. Oh man, I wish I was able to go there, but I've had some stuff, of course. But I'll be able to go there next year, or I'll
that would
fine
be
anyway.
awesome. It would be great to go to SEC Media Days, but yeah, definitely, you know, logistically, it'll happen in the future, like Jackson says. But it'd be awesome. Love to go as well. I mean, I think to Jackson's point, I mean, Kalen DeBoer, like how he, you know, how he does like answering questions and stuff. I think so far all offseason he's done everything you could really ask, you know, and I think he's going to continue to do well at SEC Media Days. I don't foresee any problems with that. Honestly, I think what I love about Media Days is there's always one coach or one thing that just stands out above everything else, just some comment or just something that people just key in on that just it doesn't even end up usually mattering at the end of the day, but people just love to talk about it. I just love that one big like meme or joke or something that comes out of Media Days.
Well, and the one other thing I keep thinking about is what is Greg Sankey gonna say about the future of conference games for 2026 and beyond? Because honestly, that's what I suspect we're gonna hear about. Because if we're not hearing about, you know, the conference schedules, the future of it in spring meetings, then okay, we're going to hear something about it in the media days. I mean, take 2021, for example. We didn't hear anything about Texas, Oklahoma wanting to expand until SEC Media Days. Oh, Texas, Oklahoma. Oh, no. Texas is going to penalize horns down. Yeah, not happening. Big 12's going to make them happy. But then minutes later or a day later, oh, Texas and Oklahoma are going to join the SEC. And that's what I'm waiting to see what's going to happen. What big announcement are we seeing that we don't know yet?
So do you think there's a chance the SEC would go to non-conference games specifically? Because that's been heavily rumored for a while now. But if they were to do that, I feel like they would almost have to announce they're in some sort of a partnership or alliance with the Big 12/ACC for the 5+11 model. Because I'm sure, as you two astute gentlemen figured out in the Big 12 media conference, I'm sure you watched them start to finish because you all are just built like that. Brett Yormark said that he is all aboard the 5+11 model. He wants, you know, I'm paraphrasing here, but equal opportunity for every institution to get it. Feels like he's got multiple teams that can make the playoffs, that are competitive, that will be competitive in the playoffs. So do you think that could be something they announce, or 9 games?
I think we're gonna see something. I don't know what big announcements we're gonna hear yet, but there's gonna be a big announcement of some kind.
Every conference should play the same amount of conference games. I mean, it's so dumb that some play 8, some play 9. It's dumb. I think that they should all play the same amount, whether it's 8 or 9. It's not going to go back to 8 for the Big Ten. It's about money, but you know, I think it's always been dumb that the conferences aren't even on that. Yeah, the 5+11 model. I mean, that definitely could happen. I don't know. All this stuff's just crazy. Like Jackson said, something's going to happen for sure, probably.
Well, I was hoping to get a prediction out of you two gentlemen, but you all did a good job dodging that question. So
we'll get there.
I'll ask you a different question. Which coach do you think is most likely to step in it? I saw Iowa State's coach kind of stepped in it by talking about how his top 20 players got pay cuts and he received some backlash over it because people were saying he wasn't paying enough in NIL. They weren't doing enough. They're not fully bought. So which coach do you think is most likely to step in and say something that's going to get clipped?
Hmm.
Mm.
Probably Hugh Freeze.
Sure. Hugh Freeze or Brian Kelly.
Oh yeah, Brian Kelly's a moron. But oh man. But we all can agree on one thing though. Josh Heupel has that Bobby Hill riz.
Yeah. Never compliment Tennessee, Jackson. That's just a universal
compliment Jackson gives. That's the only compliment he gives.
Yeah, it's one too many for Tennessee fans.
Well, I mean, that boy ain't right in the head, I tell you what.
Yeah. They're going to act like they're going to win it all again, and they're not even going to be close.
They're not even going to win 9 games, probably. I mean, they don't have Nico. And I'm seeing videos now saying, well, they've won they've got the better quarterback now. It's again, like, they were upset Nico left, and then now it's like, oh, we got the better quarterback, and we're going to win the SEC. Dude, come on, man. Like, Tennessee, they're not going to be awful or anything. They're not winning the SEC or even getting close to it.
No.
Didn't they get a G5 quarterback?
Oh, they did.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, how embarrassing. Just the delusion Tennessee fans can get themselves into. Feels like something scientists need to study. Feels like the human brain shouldn't be able to produce that amount of delusion, but somehow they generally are able to do it, and they actually believe it. That's the crazy part. But
it's a completely different thing to say something delusional and not believe it versus saying something completely delusional and believing it. That is a totally different level of delusion.
Final thing I'll ask you all about is this Alabama-Florida State game. Feels like it's getting absolutely no hype by anybody in terms of this offseason. Do you think that's a large portion? Why do you think that is? Let me just ask that. Why do you think that is?
The reason it is because Florida State was 2-10 last year. Nobody thinks they're going to be any good. And Alabama, without Saban, is a little bit less cool to talk about.
That, and I think more eyes are on LSU, Clemson, and
there's
Ohio
bigger games,
State.
to Jackson's point.
Yep, Ohio State, Texas, and Notre Dame, Miami as well.
Those 3 games are just significantly better.
Yep.
From a hype standpoint.
I agree, but and as a college football fan, there are some rare games which you can't lose as a fan. And this is one of those games where either way, Florida State, I get to laugh at them if they get blown out or lose because, it's Florida State. Look at what their fans did 2 off seasons ago. It's always going to be fun laughing at them. And if Alabama loses to Florida State, you guys lose to Florida State.
If we lose to Florida State, DeBoer, again, he's not going to get fired or nothing, but his seat goes from he's fine to I wouldn't say it can't be recoverable, but fans are going to be mad for a long day.
Oh yeah, you
cannot lose that game. Honestly, if you want to say week 1 must-win game for a coach, for a team, just in general, there are coaches that have hotter seats that need a win. But Alabama at Florida State is the key definition of must win for Alabama because the humiliation and the amount of flack that DeBoer would receive from Alabama fans and the media for losing that game. It would knock Alabama already out of relevancy. They'd have to basically win out the rest of the way just to recover from that. So, yeah, you cannot lose. I'm not worried about it. We've talked about that game at length, and we're going to talk about it a lot more as it gets closer and closer because week one game, we'll be talking about it the week before. But that game is very important for us. It is a lot more important for us than it is for Mike Norvell because Florida State can lose that game, and as long as it's close, Mike Norvell will look good. And with that result, if they get blown out, he's cooked. But for Alabama, anything but a win looks bad, and even a close win would look bad. But you cannot lose that game. That is a massive game for Alabama. Just can't lose.
There you go. Well, Darrell, we will definitely be seeing you soon. We'll see you next week for sure, man. stay safe, stay cool, stay away from that miserable heat, and stay away from the rain.
Will do. Appreciate you guys having me on as usual. Pleasure talking to you, gentlemen.
Pleasure talking
Appreciate
to
it,
you
Drew.
too,
Hope you have a great night.
Oh, crap. Oh, man. My fingers are a little trigger happy.
Yeah, a little
tonight.
trigger happy, man. It's like Marshall Dillon.
Oh, man. Little way too trigger happy for sure. Got those itchy trigger fingers. And we got our last call of the night. As I always say, best for last, we got Will and D on the line. How you doing tonight, good buddy?
Hey, Will, how's
What's
it
up?
going?
What's up, guys?
Oh, it's going pretty good. How you doing tonight, man?
I just wanted to have a little chuckle at our pal Hugh Freeze.
It's always easy to laugh at Hugh Freeze.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah, he's messing around with those payphones, doing something he shouldn't. I mean, like, he did it at Ole Miss, but he's not doing it on Auburn, though. But I think he's just grinning, with everybody looking at him, but behind their back, who knows? He's just crossing his fingers behind his back.
So, what I've seen online is that Hugh Freeze has played 21 rounds of golf since June 1st. Instead of going to recruiting, he's playing golf.
You know what that sounds like, Will? Woody. Mike Woodson.
Mm-hmm.
Remember how many rounds of golf he was playing during the recruiting weekend?
And do you guys know what Auburn is ranked in recruiting?
Oh,
Indiana
they're
fans
in
so
the
mad.
80s last I checked. Like 87th, I think.
You can't do that. It's the same thing with primetime. Colorado's recruiting rankings are terrible too, as we mentioned the other night. But Auburn's is no good either. It's like Hugh Freeze. You're not going to save your job playing golf, man. It's just not happening.
I mean, I remember when Saban left and they had Hugh Freeze, man. They were like, we're going to win recruiting. We're going to recruit the state of Alabama. Like, that's what they were saying. They were convinced that they were going to dominate Alabama recruiting.
Oh, yeah.
And, like,
Yeah, they're not dominating anything on or off the field.
Yeah, you're winning Alabama recruiting all right. I mean, winning more like winning the rounds at golf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why did Hugh Freeze take the Auburn job? Why did he not just stay at Liberty?
I think he thought he could win. I think he thought he would be able to win again in the SEC. And the only reason he won is because he was spending more money than everyone else was.
It's funny though. Auburn was like trying to get Brian Harsin fired on an alleged affair with a coworker.
Alleged.
And then they hire Hugh Freeze.
Yeah,
like
yeah. You remember how mad I was, Will, when that happened. I was like, you got rid of Brian Harsin for alleged offenses, yet hire a guy that has a laundry list full of crap that he has done.
Like Auburn.
Oh, he means
as a school is full of crap. They're full of crap. Auburn is.
I mean, the thing is, like, they're fans, and there's tons of Auburn fans that follow me. Appreciate them for doing so, and I try not to humiliate Auburn too badly, but they humiliate themselves. Like, I don't understand, like, any Auburn fan, like, legitimately trying to hype up their team. They can't. Like, they know it's bad. You know, they're just trying to just hope and pray that some actual good coach will just come into their program and fix it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're just rough. Like, you don't see any Auburn fans really, like Michigan, Ohio State, you see the back and forth, them bad-mouthing each other, all that we see every single day, 24/7, 365 days a year around college ball circles. You don't see Auburn fans really trashing Alabama. They have nothing to say. What can they say? They know their program sucks right now. I mean, honestly, it pains me to say this, but I almost feel for them. How bad their program is, how bad their university is at football right now. Like but then I remember them firing Malzahn, and I really don't. I feel a little bad for them though, because they shouldn't be this bad. Auburn is too proud of a program to suck that bad. It is ridiculous. It is absolutely pathetic. But you know what? If it means we can keep beating them, then whatever. So, but that's my thoughts. I mean, I do legitimately feel a little bit, just slightly, for Auburn fans. And at least they're not chirping at us. I mean, because they know they suck. They know they suck right now.
Oh, man. It's like, thank you for pointing out the number of 2026 for the Auburn recruiting class. But, I'll whisper it for everybody in the back once again. 89th in the nation.
I mean, always Irish hated Brian Kelly. Even when he was with Notre Dame, he hated Brian Kelly.
Oh, he's a
And Kelly
douchebag.
was known to golf a lot. And he's like, the better your handicap is for golf, the worse coach you are. It's like a inverse relationship. And I
You
mean, we're
have to
seeing,
be locked in all the time. And yes, you
yeah,
can take breaks. Yes, you can have a day off. Yes, if you really want to go on vacation in a dead period, you can do that. Be normal like everybody else. Even people with really crappy jobs still get vacation and they can take breaks. I mean, it should be the case. But when you're getting paid $10 million a year at a big time university to recruit well, win football games, that's what you're there to do as a coach. Have a great program for your fans, for your school, make the school more money, make the fans happy, all that kind of stuff, generate even more NIL, all that kind of stuff. It is your job to be locked in basically as much as you possibly can, almost 365 days a year. Not all the time, but if you're not locked in, you shouldn't be a coach, not at that high of a level. Go be a coach at Ohio. You know what I'm saying? If you want to take frequent breaks. Because, yeah, you're not going to be winning recruiting battles against anybody significant. You're just going to get the same old 2-star players. When you're at a school like Auburn, you got to be locked in. You got to be committed. I mean, Cignetti is committed in Indiana. So, whether people think he's a leader or not, we'll see what they do this year. But still, it's like you got to be locked in. You got to want to win. If you do that, it's automatically going to increase your chances of winning.
I feel like Cignetti could win a playoff game before Brian Kelly will. I feel like that could happen.
that's definitely a shot.
I really wish Indiana, glad I was that we played Notre Dame and it was awesome. I still kind of wish with the other model that we would have Boise State. If we had got Boise State, we probably could have won. Even though
it would have been a good game. Would have been a good game. Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen that, but it's all good. It's all good. I mean, Notre Dame was just so much better on the lines of scrimmage, and I knew that. That's why I picked Notre Dame. I mean,
and that was the strength of Indiana. Yeah, it's the lines.
So, yeah,
one of the big strengths. Your receivers were good too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great.
But it's just so. Bro, get out of here. But get out. But I have another golf college football story.
Ooh,
so Ty Willingham, who was like a couple coaches ago for Notre Dame. I mean, he had a couple nice wins. Like he won in Neyland, that was funny. But Mark Sanchez, who's probably gonna go to USC anyways, to be fair, was gonna go and visit Notre Dame. But Ty was golfing and he wouldn't finish his round. He wouldn't finish his round to see Sanchez, who was on campus. He was finishing his golf round instead, and he never even gave Notre Dame a chance after that. So don't golf while recruits are on campus.
Exactly.
And don't golf.
Yeah, if recruits are on campus, you should be there. You should be there, showing
and don't
campus,
golf. Don't
up,
golf when you're ranked 89th in the nation in recruiting.
Oh man. And
again, that is pathetic. I mean, you think about it right now, Indiana's 26th in recruiting. Like that's really good. I think NIL's helping. I think being the Big Ten season they had last year, all that stuff helps. But Indiana is 26th in the country right now in recruiting. And Auburn's 89th. Now, obviously, Auburn's not going to be 89th at the end of the day. They're going to end up getting some other guys, but that's sad. Like, that is legit.
There's a strong chance they won't finish top 25 now.
Oh, no. I mean,
perfect.
It's like
former Auburn consideration players come to Indiana.
Auburn, they'll here's what they'll do. They'll probably either try to pull off an upset over Alabama or Georgia, but then they'll choke against Arkansas in quadruple overtime.
That is what they do. Exactly. I mean, they'll go out there and play Georgia and Alabama, give it everything they've got, look like a playoff team almost, quote, almost.
Oh, yeah.
And then next week, blow it to New Mexico State. Vanderbilt, blow it to just garbage teams. It is pathetic. I don't even understand that New Mexico State game, and then the next game they almost beat Alabama. It's like you lost to New Mexico State. If you had to play the way you did against Bama against New Mexico State, you would have beaten them by 45. I don't know. Auburn just annoys me. They're so inconsistent because they don't even try half the time. They don't even care. It's we played Georgia, Bama. Let's try.
I mean, and they haven't beaten Bama since 2019 and Georgia since 2017, and then they lost to Georgia in the SEC championship in 2017. So.
Did
And
you
the
predict that, Will? And when we did our SEC predictions,
Oh,
Kentucky, Auburn,
I
did
might
you, or
have.
was it Kentucky beat Tennessee? I think you said that.
One of the two, yeah. I had
Yeah, it
Kentucky
was
getting
one
a
of the
win.
Well, let's see. The last time Auburn beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa was 2010, of course. But the
Yeah,
last time
2010.
Auburn beat Georgia in Athens was in 2005, and that was only 9 months after the founding of YouTube.
Yeah.
Georgia won the SEC that year, didn't they? Dang, that's weird.
Yeah,
They won
that's
the
funny
SEC.
though. Like Georgia won the SEC, but they lost to their two biggest rivals, Florida and Auburn. That's gotta be embarrassing, man. It's like,
Yeah, and they lost to West Virginia in the Sugar Bowl.
oh man, it was like West Virginia just beating them. That was
Pat
like,
White was so good for West Virginia. Those were the best ever West Virginia teams, but they blew it against Pitt in 07. They blew it.
oh man, we could have had a Missouri West Virginia national title.
I miss when college football, like you had those type teams. You had Cal, you had Stanford, West Virginia, Pitt, Kansas that one year with that one coach. You know, like the thing is,
Mark
you had different. Yeah, that guy was so funny, man. You had different teams that would go on runs, even if they didn't last. But now it's like Indiana has their run, right, with the easy schedule and all that. And
Indiana and Arizona State,
you
yeah.
saw what people did, though, right? Like, especially Indiana, because of Signetti's comments. They just ragged them, like, oh, Indiana, they suck. I hope they get destroyed. Whereas back then, people would, like, be happy about the Cals and the Stanfords having success. I don't know. It's like this mindset's changed where people just want to see same teams win. You know what I'm saying? As long as it's like their favorite team, if it's Ohio State, Georgia, Bama, whatever. I don't know. It's like I was disappointed to see the amount of Indiana hate that they got. Because used to, I feel like people like kind of the Cinderella stories of these smaller schools that would have a good year or two. I mean, Indiana's not always going to be here, folks. I mean, if Signetti even stays, yeah, they're going to have 7 and 5 seasons. I mean, they're not going to make the playoffs every year. We know that.
Oh, Cincinnati, in my opinion, he's staying for the long haul in Bloomington because I mean that's his last job. I mean, dude's in his 60s. He wants to be the legend in Bloomington. He doesn't want
Burks,
to.
I'll tell you this, Burks. You wouldn't have won I don't know if you would have won a national championship without Blake Corum, and Blake Corum's from the DMV, so.
Oh man.
Burke says, Will and D, I hate the DC, Virginia area. How do you enjoy living there?
Well, I mean, Arlington, where I live, is known as the best place to raise a family and the most fit place in the country, so.
Oh, there you go, man.
Hey, I mean, definitely different perspective. I mean, you got to live at a place to really know how it is. A lot of people outside will say, "Oh, it's so bad." Maybe it's not. You have to kind of live there, you know. Troy V says, "I rooted for Indiana every game except when they played the Buckeyes. It was a feel-good story for sure." This right here, comment of the night. This is what I was so confused about last season. Like,
I think most people rooted for Indiana.
I feel
but it was
like
just that vocal minority.
It was the vocal minority. You're right. It was on social media, and they were so loud that it made it seem like everyone hated Indiana, and I couldn't stand that because it's like the thing is, even if Indiana just say, I was happy for Arizona State. So while the only thing I didn't want was Dillingham to win Coach of the Year. You know, I wanted Indiana to win Coach of the Year, but I'm just saying, like, I was happy for Arizona State. I like when teams like that have good years. They don't have to be great teams. They don't have to deserve making the playoffs. Again, they expanded the playoffs, so teams like that are going to get in if they go on runs. But the thing is that it's like that's a good thing. It's good to see that because it adds some parity, adds uniqueness to it. You can remember, hey, that year, 2024, Indiana and Arizona State went on that run, like Kansas in 07. It's cool. I think it's cool. And like you said, the vocal minority kind of ruined that because I do think, like you said, the majority were happy about it, but the vocal minority just ruins everything for.
Oh yeah, Burks, Hunter Dickinson, of course. I saw him in high school at DeMatha.
Oh man, that's cool. Well,
I'm glad Hunter Dickinson's out of college basketball. Honestly,
Jordan Smith, watch out for Jordan Smith from Paul VI. He's going to be a lottery pick in 2020s. In 2027. He's a rising senior now, but he's really good.
We'll be watching for him like a hawk for sure. Well, what else have you got for us tonight, good buddy?
hoping to do the Big Ten. Can we do the Big Ten preview this weekend, Jeffrey? Are you busy?
Absolutely. We'll definitely try to fit that in. I know me, Jackson, and Austin are doing a Sunday night show with top 10 non-conference games, but we'll definitely try to figure out a time to do a show for sure on the Big Ten. 'Cause I definitely want to do that. I want to do the Big Ten previews with you, man. Because that conference is going to be interesting to talk about. And I'll be hyping up Indiana. So
There you go, man.
All right.
it's going to be fun.
I'll
Thanks.
be tuning in, making sure I got popcorn and Coca-Cola for that one, man.
You won't want
Thanks,
to miss
guys.
that, Jackson. Appreciate it, Will.
It's always good seeing you, Will. And he is such a good friend of Voice College Football, but he's a good friend of ours. It's always good hanging out with Will and D, man. It's always great.
Absolutely. I always love chatting with Will. And again, to Darrell's point, Arizona State and IU were nice story, but they should be in the title race. I agree 1,000%. 1,000%. But like I said, and I'll say it to the nth degree, they're the ones that expanded the playoffs to 12 teams. If they did not expand the playoffs to 12 teams like me and you discussed before, Darrell, Indiana and Arizona State would not have got in. So I was happy that both teams had great years. I thought it was cool. But yeah, I'm 1,000% with you. They were not anywhere close to being a title team. They don't have the talent. They don't have the players. They don't have the resources. So yeah, but they expanded it to 12 teams. They set the playoffs up the way they did, and that's why they got in. So that's those people's fault. I mean, that's just absolutely, like you said, it's the system. The teams all.
Oh, the discussion made
Also, they had
Jeffrey's
the years they
interest.
did. Even if they're fluky outside the schedule is easy, because I think Indiana will be good again. But they're not going to have the same record, so it's gonna be interesting. I'm definitely excited about this upcoming season in college football, and hopefully the playoff stuff gets sorted out. They've already made the minor tweaks to make it better with the seeding stuff, but with the expansion, if they go the 5-11 model, and all that, hopefully it's good. I don't want expansion, but all it's going to do is just add more teams like Indiana in the playoffs, so that are, they're not quality enough to win a title. So that's on the committee and stuff. So
there we go. Well, Jeffrey, what have you got going on this week, good buddy?
Definitely, like preluded with Will earlier, we're going to be doing the top 10 non-conference games on Sunday night. That's going to be a blast with you and Austin. It's going to be fun. Can't wait to discuss that. We're going to have to try to figure out how to put that together, because it's going to be a lot highly debated probably on our top 10 list. It's going to be fun. So definitely tune in for that. Also, with Will, don't know if we're going to be able to do it this weekend, but me and Will are going to be trying to do Big Ten previews for 2025 season. We've already done it for the ACC. We've done it for the SEC. Those were a blast. So we're going to do our Big Ten predictions sometime coming up in the near future. And we'll probably try to hit the Big 12, even if no one actually really cares about the Big 12 outside of like 5 Big 12 fans, but we'll still cover it anyway. And definitely appreciate all the support here on Alabama Voice of College Football. Thanks for all of you that have checked me out on my YouTube channel as well, Only Talk Sports. Definitely, if you haven't subscribed already, would definitely appreciate it. And also give me a follow on X as well, where I do post every now and then. Again, try to stay off the crazy Twitter wars that there always are in the comments. But it creates great discussion. Sometimes you just gotta dabble in every now and then, just can't get too sucked in. But definitely appreciate all the support, and excited about the season getting closer and closer. A lot of content to be had. Definitely lots to talk about. So
there we go, man. Tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Post about the magic that Jeffrey is creating on Only Talk Sports. Let's get him to 3,000 subs on his personal channel. That is for sure. And you can check me out on Jackson Johnson 979, where I'm 323 subs away from that magic number 1,000. I've got my latest episode, The Jacksonia, with Ty Hudson from Tuss Talk with Ty, the 75th episode. And also, I've got updates on Alabama with the Voice of College Football coming up. And also, more updates on the Jackson and more of my once-a-week calls on the Feinbaum show. I've been taking off from calling Feinbaum last week because he's on break. And I guess he's on break this week. So it's I'll take a break from that for a bit, but then I'll go back to calling in next week. So for more updates on what I've got going on, check me on Jackson VOCFB on @/Twitter and on Instagram and Threads at JacksonJohnson543908. Check out Crimson Tide Live and Alabama Primetime Live and the Alabama Call-In Show on your favorite audio platform, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And check out the magic that we're creating on Alabama at the Voice of College Football on Instagram, TikTok, and X, where we've got all kinds of stuff going on. And if you want to give Alabama at the Voice of College Football a follow, give it a follow at Alabama VOCFB. It's the same for everyone. You can trust us on that. Everyone, tune in for what we've got coming up on Alabama at the Voice College Football, including on these accounts. We promise you we've got magic coming your way, including on the TikTok account, the Ets account, where once again, we're breaking that fourth wall inside the 16th wall, inside the 64th wall. There we go. So we're doing that again. But we'll go back. We'll go back to doing that on a regular basis in the coming weeks. But then there's the kickoff countdown. I decided to do that with Harry Gilmer. 52 more days until week 1. But tomorrow we're going to put in number 50 for each of these accounts. We promise you that. And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe to Alabama with the Voice of College Football so you never miss another video. And tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at post about the magic we're creating all right here. And with that being said, we'll see y'all next week. And roll Tide!
Roll Tide.